Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Y'all know what this is. This is Fuse 122 live on the scene. The Monday review, Sunday preview show, but this is a little bit different show. Because today we got a Super Bowl rematch
Ew.
live and in living color. But without further ado, let's introduce the crew. Germ So True, Victor, Santana. Hey man, how you doing, man? How's your day going?
Everything good, man. Just busy, busy days, man. But trying to make it here to talk a little bit of football at least. Watch some film at least before this game today. So um yeah, man, just busy days, but hey, glad to be around, glad to be alive every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Mo will probably pop his head in here in a little bit. With everything else being said, we're just gonna dive right into it. I mean, this is starting with a Thursday game. Obviously, this is the first game that we have filled from the week. Um, any glaring things stick out to you this week or so far with that game or in general?
No, I mean I just threw this on just for probably, probably the other ones are probably available as they're trying to get them in faster, but I just, just for the heck of it, have a little something running while we talk. Um, as far as Sunday, man, just again a lot of quarterback play that just it's just not living up to par and stuff like that. I mean, you got Zach Wilson being benched, you got Mac Jones being taken out of his game. I guess we're gonna see sooner or later whenever if they're gonna move on from starting him. Of course, the Jets made a decision today, Jeremy, because they play on Thursday against the Dolphins. So that's gonna be a mess, lack of better terms. I don't know, man. But quarterback play overall, man, has just I never thought it would take a back seat like this to everything else. You know?
Well, when people retire, this is kind of what happens.
Yeah.
There's nothing that we can do here to change any of those things either. Unfortunately, I mean, it just kind of is what it is. So, I mean, looking at where we were last week, we're looking at a situation where quarterback play obviously has regressed, but why has it regressed is the question. And I
Right.
think it's just been we've seen some all time greats retire. And that's
Or
pretty much
get
what it comes down to,
or get hurt.
or get hurt. I mean,
Like the Jets know firsthand.
exactly. So,
Bro, I was listening to ESPN earlier and on the car or whatever. And I was reminded that they did the hard knocks for training camp, and it's like, damn, like all that hype and all that getting ready for the season and thinking that it's gonna be a fun season, but football can be bad and ugly, man. And just within the first couple plays, they had lost Aaron Rodgers, and now you're back to kind of like square one, like you were last year with Zach Wilson. Unfortunately, he hasn't taken much steps forward, coming from being a second overall pick in the draft. Um, but yeah, man, like, damn, that's rough. All that time and all that energy spent on Hard Knocks, and to just to see the way their season is just going down with such a talented defense.
So I got a
so
question, and if I gotta change, I'm sorry, Jerm. If I gotta change my environment, there's too much of an echo. Let me know.
You sound good, bro.
But my question is, okay, yes, you got Brady retired, Breeze retired, and Aaron Rodgers is injured. So automatically, you take three guys who, for the last 12 years, have been the standard of the position. You know, we've had our back and forths, our differences, our perspectives, certainly our critiques. more of Breeze and Rogers than the other one, because the other one was as close to perfection as there is when it comes to the position. But then you also add to the mix that Joe Burrow is now injured. Deshaun Watson is injured. So all of a sudden, when you go back 5 years ago, we had a quarterback pool of, okay, well, maybe the position is going to have an easy transition to the next generation. And that hasn't happened. So do you think it's more of the position has taken a back seat? Or is it that just the position is just so young at the moment?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it. Absolutely part of it. Um, but like, what do we have? Like, you got Zach and Mac, 30-year quarterbacks, haven't exactly shown any progress. Obviously they both have different situations that we can criticize, especially just what's being put around them. You can argue that Zach and the Jets have the talent necessary. So is it a coaching issue? I think in New England is a lot more than the talent. Where else, man? I mean, what other names can we throw out there? Like
So
Herbert. There's some people that are still disappointed in Herbert's inconsistencies.
So I'm going to actually go a different direction. I think there is no continuity with the coaching collectively, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I think that offenses are not evolving. I think they're staying the same. And I think that that is ultimately why points per game this year are down so much.
Mm.
We're no longer giving you the same looks on defense, which then changes up a lot of other things that you do what on offense. But a lot of things too about the quarterback position is a little bit more cerebral than it is anything else at that position. Well, what if I told you that the people that are around these guys right now aren't really using their heads, which is why the position is kind of becoming more watered down?
I mean, so like we talked about before, a lot of these kids can even pass from under center. They struggle with these 5 and 7 foot step drops, right? So they rather use a shotgun, which helps the defense kind of have an idea of what's coming next. Um, can you argue that the defenses are getting better again? Like, or what is it like? I mean, I'm sure if it's a mixture of a bunch of things.
Well, it can be a mixture of a lot of things, but the one thing that is consistent is evolution, right? The defense, this was the defense's turn over the last couple of years to evolve to what the offense is doing. So now that the defense is caught up, now what does the offense have to do? Separate itself again.
Right.
But what are we going to do? Who's going to be the person to do it? Remember, about 5 years ago, that was Sean McVay. Now we're going to roll into the next. Who's the next offensive coordinator that's going to put together something that's going to be highly explosive? That's going to be something that's going to, again, move the needle again for in favor of the offense.
Mm.
Other thing I'm going to say is this offseason, let's just be very, very mindful of whatever rule changes that they decide to bring upon us. Just something else to throw out there.
Yeah, I heard today there was going to be another rule change and some things for the referees, some more things for the referees to look out for and be responsible for calling. Something about a hip toss tackle. I don't know, man. But yeah, football is rough, man. It's a lot of changes, play by play, day by day, down by down, whichever way you want to however you want to explain it. Mo is
Let's
Mo
enjoy it while
still.
we have it. Let's enjoy it while we have it, and everything else like that. So what we're gonna do is, Vic, we're gonna go rapid fire real quick on the games from yesterday. Any quick little details and stuff like that.
Wait,
Let's
I'm
say for
sorry. I'm
your.
sorry. I was trying to unmute myself. I'm sorry, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
The hip drop tackle,
What the hell does that mean, bro?
bro. That's literally wrapping the hips. So it's like just making flag football. And I have never been of the belief of this. Like truly, I have been for the most part in favor of, I would say, 90% of the rule changes. Again, if my audio is a little distorted, please let me know. I will change my environment.
No, no, you sound good.
I have been an advocate and in support of about 90% of these rule changes, okay? Because me and Jerm talked about this. Like, okay, yeah, football was cool back in the day, but we appreciate the sophisticated side of football, right? They took away some of the things with leading with the helmet and helmet to helmet and all that stuff, which I understand. Part of it is player safety. Part of it is they don't want to pay no more lawsuits. But I get it. But if you take away this hip drop tackle as they're talking about it, you might as well make it flag football. Because you take away the hips, you take away the heads, pause. Never a good thing, a way to do that. What are you going to go for next? The knees? Okay, well, you just going to have a bunch of ACL injuries at this point. So, like, there's a line, and if they truly decide to take this away, they just make it flag football. That's my opinion on it. I'm sorry, I digress.
I mean that bro, like I don't know. I've told folks before, like like with all these rule changes and all this science going to trying to protect the players' brains, like football is gonna get to it. Look at the Pro Bowl is no longer what it used to be. You know, as much as people didn't really like the Pro Bowl, at one point it was very entertaining to watch. Okay, I think when Sean Taylor laid out that punter, that Bills punter, I think that's when things started to shout out to Sean Taylor, rest in peace. But once he laid that dude out, I think people started kind of like looking at the Pro Bowl like, all right, man, let's not get too crazy with this. And sure enough, it's no longer a game. So like 10 years from now, what is football going to look like? Because like the edge rushers, look at. Let's take this for example right here, right on cue. We got Hendricks. What is it? Trey Hendrickson, right
Mm-hmm.
side, 91. Oh, nice chop. And he had to go. He went straight to the hips. Before there used to be a rip to the neck. There used to be a rip to the shoulder, try to get that ball out. He went straight for the waist. Is that a hip drop tackle right there? Nice chop. But am I right? Wrong, Germ? Is like he would have back in the day he would have chopped at the quarterback's neck, at the shoulder.
Technically, that's a hip drop tackle.
Huh?
Technically, that's a hip drop tackle. Like I don't like where are you? Are you going to start to now nitpick at what exactly should qualify as a hip drop tackle? Like
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't understand what they're going at here.
But that's as safe as you can get right there for the quarterback, right there. Like he did everything perfect on this sack.
So, with all that being said, this is something that we need to lead with probably on Sunday. But I'm going to make sure that I say this, and I'm going to say it like this. When it comes down to making rule changes, the first thing that's the most important part about a rule change is it realistic to what we're trying to produce for the said product? So if we said that we wanted to make a different type of Kool-Aid, is it realistically still going to be Kool-Aid, or is it going to be another drink now? So for football, is this realistically going to make us safer, or is it no longer football? The answer is it's becoming no longer football. We'll dive more into this on Sunday when we have our full pregame show.
Yeah.
But let's breeze through these games real quick, fellas. Obviously, we have the Bengals and the Ravens, 34-20 Ravens. Big win for the Ravens coming off the loss from Cleveland, but very, very tough loss for the Bengals. Lost Joe Burrow for the season.
Yep.
Anything else, guys? Anything to add?
No, I mean we talked about it before already. Tough loss for the Bengals, both the loss that they had and the quarterback, because it definitely dropped them to last in the division.
All right. Steelers Browns. Browns 13, Steelers 10. Big win for the Browns. First time in franchise history they beat the Ravens and the Steelers in consecutive weeks. Browns now pretty much hold the key to the Jeep for the number 2 seed, maybe even the number 1 seed if the Chiefs lose tonight, because they have a better conference record than everybody but the Chiefs.
Wow. I mean, hey, the Dorian Thompson kid, it wasn't pretty, but he grinded it out. He grinded it out. You could see his emotions towards the end of the game there, especially when they kicked the field goal. Just do whatever you can to win football games.
Uh, I mean, listen, uh, Cleveland's defense is phenomenal.
Mm.
The story for me in that game is the Pittsburgh Steelers offense. They lack leadership, they lack maturity, and they lack accountability. It's so easy to just put the blame on Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett has enough flaws, but there isn't a leader in that huddle, and that's their biggest problem.
Well, there you go. Next
Upset.
game on the docket. Dolphins, Raiders. Dolphins 20, Raiders 13. Dolphins just find a way to win, baby. Just find a way to win.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't an explosive game from them, but they found, like you said, found a way to win, find a way to grind it out. Again, however you can do it in the NFL, show these teams that you can also grind it, not just be finesse.
Uh, I listen, Miami. Miami right now is some imaginary players, and shout out to the Raiders because they're playing like a football team. But I digress.
Lions 31, Bears 26. Jared Goff showing some resilience. And look at the Lions. The Lions are 8-2 going into Thanksgiving.
It's crazy. When was the last time you said that?
Probably 1980 something. But anyway,
Yeah,
anything in that game, guys?
yeah, dude. I don't think Vic like nothing imaginary about the Lions, bro. They scored 17 points in the last 5 minutes. Jared Goff with some elite ball placement. They stuck to their game plan throughout. They play in the mud. Detroit is not to be slept on. Like at first it was cute, then it became a good story. They're for real.
Yeah, I mean, bro, like shout out to Jared Goff, somebody that is always never appreciated, never ranked in the top 10, top 15. But he didn't have a great game for 3 quarters, but then he showed up to play in the fourth quarter. And that running game is awesome, man. With Montgomery and the Gibbs kid from Alabama, their first round pick. What an outstanding, and the offensive line, of course. You got to give the beef credit. What an outstanding football team overall, man. And then the slot kid, St. Brown. I mean, we could go all day with that offense right now. It's very, very fun to watch.
And for the Bears, real quick, just to throw this out there for you guys, the Bears have literally won since Justin Fields has been the starter. They've won more games with a backup quarterback than they've won with him as the starting quarterback.
Wow.
That's all
Yeah,
I'm going to say.
it's rough.
Jags 34, Titans 0, excuse me, Titans 14. Listen. Texans, Titans, excuse me, I'm sorry. Listen, Eddie George ain't walking through that door. Even though you got King Henry, Steve McNair ain't walking through that door. R.I.P. Derek Mason ain't walking through that door. You know, Kevin Dyson ain't walking through that door. Javon Curse
You
ain't walking through that door. We
you
we
know
we,
who
we got to
can
figure
walk through
this out.
that door? You know who can walk through that door?
Who?
Ryan Mother Tannehill. Okay,
Oh, whatever.
I'm serious, bro. I'm serious. I don't believe in going to the future if number one, that future is unclear, or number two, your present is good enough. Like, look at the AFC. Look at the landscape of the AFC. Tennessee can do something. Put Ryan Tannehill in.
They're still the third,
Anyways,
fourth best team in that division if they put him in there.
Yep.
I'd rather have Gardner Minshew. Anyway,
Go ahead, Joe.
Packers 23, Chargers 20.
Oh
Listen,
man, I'm gonna
the
let you.
hell the drop heard around the world every week. Chargers just find a way to beat themselves.
Are you talking about the Quentin Johnson drop?
Yes,
Yeah, man.
yes.
There was two players this week, Jerome, that I picked up before the week started that I thought was gonna have some breakout games, some big games, and be productive players down the stretch coming to the fantasy playoffs. One was him and one was Jared Goff. They both had terrible games to a certain extent until Goff decided to show up in the fourth quarter. But that kid, I mean, first round pick, he's been given every opportunity. He plays a lot of snaps for the Chargers, but he's just not getting a lot of targets. But when you do get targets and you beat the man by like 5 yards, you gotta catch the football, kid. Because literally, that's literally all your job is to catch footballs, like we talked about before.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think again in LA with the Chargers, certainly things we can evaluate with Justin Herbert. Certainly situations where he can be better. Um, I think yesterday, when you look at it, I think he was outstanding. I really do. I think he had some balls that just guys couldn't reel in, including Keenan Allen. Obviously, that drop there at the end was big. But my biggest takeaway is shame on that head coach. Shame for standing there in the post game after that kind of loss and literally putting the blame on the offense because he's the defensive coach, he's the defensive play caller, and just he said all this bullshit. And then at the very end, he's like, "Oh, and that's on me. That's on me." No, bro. No, that's no. Like take being fully accountable is being fully accountable. And I just think in life and in sports, if as a man, as a leader, you can't have 100% accountability, then you are not the man to be the captain of the ship. And I don't think he deserves to be the captain of the ship no more.
As I bob my head to the music that Mo is playing. Shout out to Andre 3K with the little flute. But with that being said, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The Chargers are just cursed, and that's just all I have to. That's all there is to it. They're
Mm-hmm.
never going to get
Mm-hmm.
better. They probably need to stop being Chargers and start being the Los Angeles Florals or sorry the Los Angeles Slawcans or the Los Angeles Seals or something different. I don't know, but you need to try something different. The Los Angeles Surfers, you know what I'm saying? It needs to be something different because it's not working with y'all being Chargers. Wall plugs is probably available as well. Now, with that being said, Texans CJ Stroud worst game of this season was this Sunday, but yet he persevered. Showed you he still had what it took. I mean that last touchdown throw he made to Dell was spot on. I mean this is a pretty fun ride for this kid.
Facts.
21-16 over the Cardinals. Anything else to add to that, guys?
No, I mean, real quick, man. When you shared that conversation that he had with Brady to our chat this week, and Brady telling him, to try to focus and that, to basically just stay with what you can control, and all of that stuff, that all of that advice that Brady gave him, and he ends up having one of his worst games of the season. But you can see that the kid has the ability to stay poised, learn from his mistakes throughout the game, and again, just showed what he can do in the fourth quarter to get that win.
Yeah, I mean, I love the way you both presented that. Possibly the worst game of the season, possibly, but in my opinion, the most defining game of his young career so far.
Yep, yep. That's
In
fair.
a, in a positive way, obviously.
So the Cowboys 33, Panthers 10. They just roped them in. That's all.
Did
Hey,
what they had to.
yeah, not much to say, man. They got to win those
Nope.
games.
Giants 31, Commanders 19. Listen, I'm gonna say it now. Shout out to my cousin Vinny. Happens to be an attorney, but it is what it is. He laid off the bottle for a little minute. Now he's doing a little bit better. But
Oh
my
man.
cousin Danny DeVito over here, yeah, him, that guy
he
played some pretty good quarterback here this week.
did.
Commanders, since you have traded away the likes of those two edge rushers, we've been giving up more points. So now we start to look at you. We're taking a look at you now. That's all I'm gonna say, guys.
Let me find out Antonio Gibson is a top 10 most valuable offensive player in this league.
Hey,
Good.
for that team, it might be.
all I was gonna say, Germ already took it. Like Mo's cousin DeVito had a good game, so that was shocking. But hey, listen, football now they're gonna adjust to him, see how much he's able to adjust to the league, see if he could keep on going because that was pretty impressive.
Vic, have you ever seen my cousin Vinny?
Would that be a movie?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Ay, ay, ay.
No siree.
All right, next game on the docket. 49ers and Buccaneers, 27-14. 49ers getting back healthy. Bucks just didn't have enough ammunition.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm just gonna say y'all gonna put some respect on Baker's name. That's it. Because at least he competed. All right. At least he went out there and fought. He made some outstanding throws from that pocket against a really, really good defense. All right. But yeah, like you said, Jerm, they just don't have enough to go against one of the elite teams in the league right now.
Yeah. That's it.
Joshua, Ebenezer, Cannon Arm, Allen, 32, Jets 6. That's all we need to say. Hey, hey, listen. Normally, when I stand on the table for somebody, they either make me look bad or they make me look good in the same week.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he came back this week. He said, "Jerm, you got my back. I got your back." Like chiropractors. See, shout out to Andre 3K. Andre 3K dropped a little flute album this week. And I just want y'all to know that little flute album kind of fire too, man. I was in here listening to it earlier. I fell asleep on it 3 times, but hey, it's all right. It's okay. It's all right.
Oh my God.
Anything you guys want to add to that?
Just a couple notes from that. I mean, we talked about Josh Allen extensively on the Sunday morning show. And what's crazy, Jerm, we talked about how much of the offense he's accounted for. And now he's leading the league in 29 total touchdowns. So you know what I mean? Like, if this is what you call a down year, then shit. I'm pretty sure 90% of these quarterbacks would love to have this down year right now.
Down year. Yeah, they brother had this down year. Sheesh.
And then no, what's crazy is before the Jets scored a touchdown yesterday, they have 41 straight drives without scoring a touchdown before that. So I want to look back and see how true that is. But I heard that on the radio, and then I just saw it confirmed again on Twitter. 41 straight drives without scoring a touchdown until yesterday. Just to keep adding
Wow.
against my boy Zach.
Oh my God, it's 8-10.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got 2 games left, and it's quick. Rams 17, Seahawks 16. Look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I just don't trust the Seahawks as far as Geno is gonna throw the ball.
Yeah.
And that's all. I ain't got nothing else. Nothing else.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the Rams did what they got to do to try to stay in the hunt, man. So in the race. So
Vikings, Broncos, the Josh Dobbs, great, phenomenal, feel good story ends with Carlton Banks and the long 3-pointer.
I ain't got nothing to say, bro. Russell was just Russell, man. 2 years ago, I loved you, man.
Yeah, listen, I think Denver's offense is finding itself and they're playing better and they're executing better. But the real story in Denver is that defense. That defense has found it's found its identity. It knows how it wants to approach. It knows how it wants to play. And I think it did a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal job over the last few weeks, just playing their game, playing their defense. I'm gonna stay even keel, but I'm excited to keep watching Denver play football.
Whatever, Mo. Whatever.
Just being
Um.
honest.
So, with everything being said, we got Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and the Philadelphia Eagles. We got Rocky in a meat freezer, and we got little Michael going to Kansas City.
I'm going to
Kansas
Kansas
City,
City.
here I come.
Yes,
Bop,
sir.
bop. With that being said, man, this is a Super Bowl rematch from last year.
Mm.
I'm going to make this really simple and really easy. The trenches is where it starts and begins in this game. Kansas City has gotten exponentially better in the trenches over the last 8 months. I think Philadelphia still has the better edge in this particular matchup. But the one thing that I think is going to be the key in this matchup is how they defend Travis Kelce on third down. There will be no Travis Kelce first downs in this bit if it comes up to me, if I'm the defensive coordinator. I don't care if I got a triple teamer. I don't care what I got to do, but somebody on the outside got to beat me one on one. And I got the guys to be able to match up one on one. So that's what I'm going to do, number one. Number two, if I'm Philly, now it's time to be swift. It's time to
Mm.
game with.
Mm.
It's time to do the things that we need to do, and it's time to hurt them. I want to see a power running game, reverse pivot, handoff, spinning top. The most beautiful thing that you see from under center is when a quarter.
You muted, bro.
Let me turn around. Let me put it in the stomach of the running back. Pause. That play, I want to see that tonight about 40 times. Beat them into submission. I don't care if you get 2 yards of carry at first. Philadelphia's running game is one that'll get stronger as the game goes on. Vic, Mo, and then we make predictions.
Hey, man, I just want to see a good matchup. I think this is gonna be an outstanding football game. Like you said, the trenches is gonna be key here. Um, because if they can protect, if the Chiefs' offensive line can protect Pat Mahomes, he should be able to cook against this secondary because they made some changes, but I would be very surprised to be honest with y'all if they keep them under 24 points today. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs today. I think honestly I'm gonna go 31 to 28. Close game.
Okay. I got a funky feeling Philadelphia is gonna win this game.
Ooh.
And I got a funkier feeling it's gonna be a low scoring game. A lot I want to say, but due to time constraints, absolutely, Germ. If KC's defense is much better for Philly, this is the time to see if Kevin Byard was really worth it because you're gonna need him to match up tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 24-17 Eagles.
Ooh.
And for my score, I'm actually going to go 22-16
Mm.
Eagles. I just really think this Eagles football team makes this game muddy. and that doesn't favor the Chiefs. Mud doesn't favor the Chiefs in a game like this, especially with them not still being able to run the ball like they should be able to. So with that being said, this is another Monday preview review show. We will see you later on in the week. We got Thursday games. We got to Thanksgiving turkey. We got the famous thread where we put on all of the food that we're getting ready to consume. We got a lot of stuff coming up this week. So with that being said, shouts out to everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody who plays this